Hey Wargamers, welcome back to the channel Death from Above Wargaming. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are here with another HyperPulse uplink. We've got some exciting stuff. Kevin and I have been busy in the laboratory cooking up some new and exciting missions. So the next few HyperPulse uplinks will be dedicated, one each, to the 4 new missions that we are coming out with and what we are dubbing Mission Pack A. Because we couldn't come up with a better name.
Mission Pack 1?
I mean, that was a contender for sure. So we're just going to, at a high level, talk about what the missions are, sort of the high level objectives, and what we were thinking when we designed them. We thought you guys might find that exciting and interesting. And of course, you'll see these missions popping up real soon in some of our battle reports and some of our collaborators' battle reports as well. So, Kevin, the first one we've got here, Conquest is what we're calling this one.
Yeah, man. So before we dive into the first mission, just mention here that we came up with a pack of 4. I think we're going to periodically release in sets of 4. It seems like a good increment, enough to play test and balance at one time without overwhelming ourselves. But we kind of came up with, we sort of had a debate on whether we were going to have like an asymmetrical versus symmetrical mission type, which is, we like to have a healthy balance. You kind of want a little bit of both because both kind of have a nice, unique feel and can have a certain fluff play, right? Especially when it comes to attacker defender. It's harder to have a genuine feel of attacker defender with a symmetrical mission. It's more or less just who's getting like a first move or a first deployment. But nonetheless, symmetrical are so much easier to balance because what works for one side works for the other, and you don't have to worry about an imbalance in like what the objective points are for an attacker versus defender.
Right. How many construction factor each little escort vehicle should have?
Yeah. But nonetheless, I think these missions are pretty exciting, and we did a really good job, I think, trying to hold on to a fluff value for each one. Right, we're not just coming up with arbitrary random objective sets and mechanics, trying to find something that has like a logical fit into the fluff or the narrative, so that way they can sort of be dropped in for whatever your story campaign necessitates. But the first one is dubbed Conquest, and Conquest, right, is it's sort of spawned from the notion of having bases, right? We talked about having a mission that would sort of have a base play where both teams sort of have an attack and a defend objective where you sort of have to balance. Am I going to go on attack, on defense, or try to split my forces and do a little bit of both? So it's interesting, and I assume at this time you'll be showing some little graphics of the grid layout.
Yes, I can certainly do that.
It's happening. It's happening below me right now.
And it reminds me, I was going to say, of this, really I was inspired by a MechWarrior 2 mission, where you have to take out the enemy fire base. And I remember playing this mission like an infinite number of times. It's just such a cool concept. These giant mechs like moving through the fog, trying to lock down enemy bases while worrying about the Op 4 coming in and taking over their own. So it is like Kevin's saying, it's got that duality to it. I think it'll play really nice.
Yeah. I think with this one, right, it's sort of a balance, it's equal balance between capture and defend, although you can get a little bit more if you go for the capture on headquarters. It's 2 points versus 1, but the headquarters base is deeper back into territory, so the obvious sort of most straightforward attack plan would be to go after the fire base, but if you're feeling risky or you want to make a bold move, you can go after that headquarters for the extra points. But it's interesting. So I think when we play test this out, we'll have to see is it worthwhile to do like a turtle defense and just try to protect what you have, or do you go all out attack, or do you split it up? I imagine at first we'll try both splitting it up and playing a little bit of both, but it would be interesting to see sort of like alternate tactics on, total defense, total attack kind of mentality.
Right. And what I like about it is, so it's like, to your point, right? 2 for the HQ if you capture your opponents, 1 for their fire base, and if you control either of your own, you get 1. So if you could actually sacrifice your own fire base and let them cap it. You'll still be accumulating that 1 point, and you could go full bore for their fire base or their HQ, right? You could even have your light mechs or your fast recon units, those Savannah Masters that you love, just hiding in the backfield, waiting to threaten that HQ if your opponent leaves it undefended. So I think there's a lot of tactical dimension to this particular one, which I really liked. And of course, all the missions here are laced with our campaign rules, forced withdrawal, the price of defeat, like if you decide to retreat from the field, because you have that major minor victory component to it. So I think overall it's a pretty well rounded mission. Again, I'm pretty excited about this one. The one thing I think I wanted to talk about was, when we first designed this, Kev, we were talking about having a destroy option, if you remember. So we were going to have, destroy a base, capture a base, defend your own, and we're going to have 3 dimensions there. But after playing Seek and Destroy so many times, we realized it's so easy to destroy a base. We were like, well, maybe we'll give them like a quick hit for that. So I don't know, maybe you'll see that mechanic pop up in a later one, but I don't know, Kev, how you felt about it. I think the way we have it designed now, I think that's going to work out real well.
Yeah, I think one thing we agreed as we were developing these is not to get too deep with them and create too many layers, right? Stick to what's going to work and what is a basic sort of archetype for the mission, which in this one, it's sort of that duality of attack defend. Something else can sort of have that destroy versus whatever maybe, and so a sort of simplified version. But I think for now, I think this will work. And total disclaimer, we haven't play tested any of these yet, but I'm excited to, and I think they may adjust a little bit from what you're seeing now, but I can't imagine this one particularly will change much.
Yeah, and we have some of our friends and some of our collaborators that are also that have gotten some advanced copies that are going to play test these. So stay tuned for some of that. But of course, guys, as Kevin said, this one is going to be great. But we have 3 more to talk about. So don't forget, guys, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Click the little bell so you can get the notifications. Check us out online at dfawargaming.com and www.battlytics.com. And Kevin, anything else?
Let's go to the next.
All right, guys, well, stay tuned, and we'll be dropping the next mission, HyperPulse Uplink, very soon. So have a good night.